Today, the whole team is celebrating Brisbane's culinary creatives. While Al's off visiting the city's new foodie mecca, Luke will take you to the swanky Brisbane establishment that's just taken out Australian Bar of the Year, and I'll be exploring Fortitude Valley's reinvented back streets. But first, here's Jill, who's also discovering another part of the valley. Coming up, Luke visits the bar that's putting Brisbane on the world stage.
Anyone who has owned or run a restaurant would certainly understand the highs and lows of the game. So I'm pretty keen to meet a person who owns multiple venues and absolutely fits the bill as one of the movers and shakers in the Brisbane hospitality game.
And that person is Andrew Baturo, owner of Libertine restaurant at the Barracks, as well as 3 other venues around Brisbane.
Now, do you come from a long line of restaurateurs? How did you get into the business?
Oh, not at all. My mum is a teacher and she was a doctor of mathematics, and my dad was a civil engineer, so I was supposed to go down the university path, and I did go to university for a little while, but I found myself seduced by the hospitality lifestyle when I started working at Fridays as a glassy back in the late 80s. But what I really enjoy about hospitality, and particularly owning a venue like Libertine, is the entrepreneurial kind of aspect to it, and all the different the different hats you have to wear, whether it's marketing or knowing wines, knowing food, all that kind of thing. It's really, really good fun. But of course I love people, and that's at the end of the day what I get my most satisfaction out of, is making sure that people have a really wonderful time.
Andrew's focus on people has served him well, and the name of his second restaurant is a reflection of that. Popolo is the Italian word for people, and not surprisingly, situated in the beautiful River Quay precinct at South Bank, it attracts plenty of Popolo through its doors.
I do have 2 other business partners in the other venues, Paul Piticco and Denis Sheahan. So when we sit around, we analyse things, we take things very much into consideration before we actually decide to do a new business. And when we do, we've generally covered all our bases.
And the research definitely pays off. Recently, the group has ventured into the bar scene and have been rewarded for their efforts with the Australian Gourmet Traveller naming the Gresham Best Bar in Australia.
That's really, really nice to be recognised by your peers and the public as well, that you've done a you've hit the nail on the head.
This venue, this building is amazing, heritage listed building. When you see a place like this, does the idea for the bar come to you and then you look for a venue, or do you see the venue and then go, okay, I know what to do with this?
Well, you've heard the old saying, location, location, location. So that's essentially what we did. We look at the location, and then the location or the site pretty much speaks to us, and that determines what we might want to do with that particular space.
The bar staff at the Gresham do the place justice. Only last month they won more accolades, this time at the Australian Bartender Magazine Awards. But Andrew's most recent venture, whilst also a bar, is very much focused on food.
Inspired by the markets of Southeast Asia, when this place is pumping on a Friday and Saturday night, it can absolutely transport you to the back alleys of Tokyo.
Like many of the places we're featuring on the show today, Heya Bar isn't what you'd normally expect to find in Brisbane, but that's exactly the reason why our bar and dining scene is booming.
It was actually the old printing press room for the Sun newspaper building, so it was very long, and when we went down there, the first thing we thought of was it would look like a great long street market like you might find in Hong Kong or even Thailand. So it's all very much that street food style of dining, but a lot of fun.
The food is just as you would expect. Fresh, delicious, and yes, fun. Heya's specialty is their cheeseburger spring rolls. Details on Heya Bar, the Gresham, Popolo and Libertine can be found on our website. And just in case you thought 4 venues is enough to keep anyone going, it appears Andrew and his partners still have more ideas in store.
The reason that we came together, the 3 of us in the first place, was to do a specific style of venue. We haven't done that yet, so stay tuned.
Right.